Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start our agenda. Before we begin, would like to take a few moments to explain the rules for today's public lecture. First, please make sure your cell phones are on silent mode or switch off so we don't disturb the speakers and other attendees. Second, we encourage you all to participate in the discussions and ask questions related to the public lecture topic during the Q&A session at the end of each session.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
It's time for the final countdown.
The show starts in
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, best wishes for all of us. The Honorable Rector of Sriwijaya University, which in this time represented by Profesor Dr. Insinyur Rujito Agus Suwigno, Magister of Agriculture, as Vice Rector of Academic Affairs. The Honorable Vice Rector of Planning and Cooperation, Profesor Dr. Engineering Insinyur Haji Joni Arliansyah M.T. The Honorable Head of Library Sriwijaya University, Mr. Iwan Setiabudi, S.Kom, M.Kes. The Honorable Dean of Faculty of Law, Profesor Dr. Joni Emirzon, S.H. M.Hum. The Honorable Dean of the Faculty of Social Political Science, Profesor Dr. Alfitri M.Shi. The Honorable Vice Dean of Academic Affairs, Faculty of Law, Dr. Muhammad Syaifuddin, S.H. M.Hum. The Honorable Vice Dean, Academic Affairs, Faculty of Social Political Science, Dr. Haji Azhar, S.H. M.Sc. LL.M. The Honorable Vice Dean of General Affairs and Finance, Faculty of Law, Dr. Vegitya Ramadhani, S.H. S.Ant, LL.M. The Honorable Vice Dean of General Affairs and Finance, Faculty of Social Political Science, Ms. Hoirunishak, S.Pd, M.Si. The Honorable Vice Dean of Student Affairs and Alumni, Faculty of Law, Dr. Zulhidayat, S.H. M.H. The Honorable Vice Dean of Student Affairs and Alumni, Faculty of Social Political Science, Dr. Andreas Leonardo, M.Si. The Honorable Head of International Section, Faculty of Law, Dr. Maria Utama, S.H. LL.M. The Honorable Head of International Relations, Faculty and Social Political Science, Mr. Sofian Effendi, SIP, MSI. The Honorable Secretary of the Department of International Law, Faculty of Law, Mr. Adrian Nugraha, SH, MH, Ph.D. The Honorable Secretary of the International Relations, Faculty of Social Political Science, Mr. Ferdiansyah Rifai, SIP, MA. The Honorable Head of Faculty Senate, Faculty of Social Political Science, Dr. Abdul Najib. The Honorable Head of Faculty Senate, Faculty of Law, Mr. Muhammad Rashid. And all distinguished guests and academicians, welcome to public lecture by the Ambassador of Ukraine to Indonesia with theme Resilience and the Future of Ukraine, reflecting on 1,000 days of resistance and global solidarity, held by Faculty of Social Political Science and Faculty of Law, Sriwijaya University. With our great speakers, His Excellency Dr. Vasil Ivanovich Hamianin as the Ambassador of Ukraine to Republic of Indonesia. Welcome to Palembang. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem, Indonesia Raya. Ladies and gentlemen, please have a seat. Ladies and gentlemen, to increase the blessings and pleasure of our activities today, let us ask for forgiveness and pray to God Almighty. Our prayers will be guided by Mr. M. Putra Prayoga. To Mr. M. Putra Prayoga, the time is yours.
For those who Muslims, please allow me to lead a prayer according to Islamic religion. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Hamdan syakirin, hamdan naimin, hamdan yuafi ni'amahu wa yukafi'u mazidah. Ya Rabbana lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhikal karimi wa azimi sultanik. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Muhammadin wa ala ali wa sahbi ajmain. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, we gather here today in this beautiful occasion holding the events of public lecture by the Ambassador of Ukraine to Indonesia. With your permission and blessings, bless all our steps and action and make them acts of worship and knowledge that benefit for us. Ya Allah, Ya Wahid, unite our steps, unite our spirits, strengthen the unity among us, and do not let there be any division among us. We want to be strong in this unity so that we can be more beneficial to our religion, country, and nation. Ya Allah, Ya Ghafur, you who forgive all sins, forgive our sins, the sins of our parents, the sins of our leaders, the sins of our fighters, the sins of our predecessors. Please us and all of them under your mercy and forgiveness. We thank you for this opportunity to come together as a community. Please bless this event and guide us as we connect with one another, share ideas, and inspire and empower. May your presence be left throughout this gathering. May our minds be open to new ideas and our hearts be filled with a desire to learn. Grant us wisdom and understanding. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina azabannar walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to listen the welcoming speech from the Rector of Sriwijaya University, which this time is represented by the first Vice of Rector and will officially initiate the agenda to Professor Dr. Insinyur Rujito Agus Suwiknyo, Magister of Agriculture. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. First of all, before I make this speech, let me tell you that when we raised together and sang Indonesia Raya, I was very surprised that Dr. Fasil Hamianin also sang Indonesia Raya. Give him applause. Saya sangat surprise ketika beliau ikut nyanyi Indonesia Raya tadi, luar biasa. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, faculty, lecturers, and students, good morning, and I greet you all, colleagues. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I stand here on behalf of the Rector of Universitas Sriwijaya. He is now still in Semarang for special duties, and he will go back to Palembang Thursday morning. So, with a great honor and humility, I take this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you as we gather to hear from an esteemed diplomat and scholar, His Excellency Dr. Fasil Hamianin, the Ukraine Ambassador to Indonesia. Please once again give him a big applause. His Excellency Dr. Fasil, before I make other speech, let me tell you a little bit about our university. University Sriwijaya was inaugurated by President Sukarno, Indonesian first president, on November 3rd, 1960. We just celebrate our 64th anniversary on November 3rd, 2024. We have 10 faculties. We have 133 departments with around 36,000 students from undergraduate, magister, and also doctorate program. We have more than 1,200 lecturers. We have two main campuses. One is here in Palembang, and the other is in Indralaya city, around 32 kilometers from Palembang, with around 720 hectares. We have the largest campus in Indonesia, and perhaps also the largest campus in Southeast Asia. Yes, today's lecture entitled Resilience and the Future of Ukraine, reflecting the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, is not only a struggle for the people of Ukraine, but also a defining moment for international law, diplomacy, human rights, and the values that unite us as a global community. The resilience shown by the Ukrainian people over the past 1,000 days has been nothing short of inspiring, and today we are privileged to hear firsthand from His Excellency the Ambassador Hamianin as he reflects the impacts of this ongoing resistance and the role of global solidarity in shaping the future of Ukraine and the broader world. The theme of today's lecture is particularly important for us as students of law. As the Faculty of Law and Faculty of Social Political Sciences, we are uniquely positioned to delve into these topics, as they are the heart of our studies and areas of expertise. Today's lecture will not only expand our understanding of the situation in Ukraine, but also help us consider the broader implication for international peace and security, the rules of global governance, and the protection of human dignity across borders. In closing, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Fasil Hamianin for taking the time to join us today. I know you are very busy every day, and he told me that this is the first time for him to come to Sumatra. So please give also big applause to him. Your insights will undoubtedly enrich our perspective of the current global landscape and inspire us to think critically about our role as global citizens. I would also like to extend my thanks to all the lecturers, organizers, faculty members, and students who have made this event possible. 2 days ago, I saw in Indonesian television that Ukraine makes a special stamps with photos of President Probo Wicaksono. This is a very special for us. So from the bottom of our hearts, we express our gratitude for this attention from Ukraine. Thank you very much. Without further ado, it is my honor to invite Ambassador His Excellency Dr. Fasil Hamianin to deliver today's lecture. Thank you, and I wish you all a fruitful and engaging session ahead. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Professor, for the welcoming speech. But please stay on the stage. Because the next agenda is signing the MOU between Sriwijaya University and Embassy of Ukraine to Indonesia. We would like to invite the Ambassador Ukraine to Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Fasil Hamianin, and also we would like to invite the Head of Library, Dean of Social Political Science, Dean of Faculty of Law of Sriwijaya University to accompany this session. We would like to invite the first Vice Dean of Faculty of Law, the first Vice Dean of Faculty Social and Political Science. Please come to the stage. The next agenda is giving the textbooks from the Ambassador of Ukraine to Rector Sriwijaya University, which in this time is represented by the first Vice of Rector Sriwijaya University. And the next, giving the textbook from the Ambassador of Ukraine to the Head of Library Sriwijaya University to Mr. Iwan Setiabudi. Ladies and gentlemen, the book had given to Sriwijaya University, and all of you can read that freely in the library of Sriwijaya University. Thank you for the Ambassador of Ukraine. Let us give applause. The next agenda is giving the token of appreciation and photo sessions. The appreciations will be given by the Rector Sriwijaya University, and it is represented by the first Vice Rector of Sriwijaya University. Of Library, Sriwijaya University. Next, giving the token of appreciations from Dean of Faculty of Law to Ambassador of Ukraine to Indonesia. Next, giving token and appreciation from the Dean of Faculty, Social and Political Science to Ambassador of Ukraine to Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, now we will proceed to photo session. To our distinguished speakers, the Vice Dean and the representative of the committee, please remain on the stage. We would like to invite Head of Senate, Faculty of Law, Head of Senate, Faculty of Social Political Science, all the lecturer and academicians, please come to the stage. The next photo session with participant of public lecture. Thank you very much. Please resume your seat. Ladies and gentlemen, now we proceed to the main agenda. For your information, our distinguished speakers is the Ambassador of Ukraine to Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Dr. Vasil Ivanovich Hamianin, and the moderator who will chair the public lecture today is Ms. Larasita Damayanti M.A. Ladies and gentlemen, for your information, our moderator today is one of the lecturer in Department of International Relations. Without any further ado, please join me in welcoming moderator Ms. Larasita Damayanti.
It's okay. Can I use your microphone? Thank you. Good morning and welcome to today's public lecture entitled Resilience and the Future of Ukraine, reflecting on 1,000 days of resistance and global solidarity. My name is Larissa Damayanti and I will be the moderator for today's discussion. First, I would like to welcome our notable speaker, His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Vasil Ivanovich Hamianin. Welcome, Ambassador, to Palembang. Is this your first step visiting Palembang?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya pertama kali ke Sumatera, not just Palembang. Of course, Palembang. I'm really glad to be here. Thank you.
I hope that you enjoy the city and you should try the food. It's delicious.
I already tried yesterday. Sudah coba, tapi saya lupa namanya apa namanya?
Pindang?
Yeah.
Okay.
So pindang, very good.
It's a fish soup, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And everything else like
Okay.
ikan bakar, I don't know what. So
Okay.
good.
So good.
Enam. Enak.
Oh, enak.
Enak. Lezat.
Okay, this is my tips for you, Ambassador. You should try empek-empek, laksan, tewan. We have plenty delicious food here in Palembang. Okay, shall we begin?
Should be very careful, yeah.
Yes, I think so. First, I would like to welcome our notable speaker. Thank you, Ambassador, for coming. Second, I would like to extend our welcome to the distinguished audience. Professor Taufik Marwa, Rector of Sriwijaya University. Professor Dr. Rujito Suiknyo, Vice Rector of Academic Sriwijaya University. Professor Dr. Radiati, Vice Rector of Student Affairs, Sriwijaya University. Professor Dr. Joni Arliansyah, Vice Rector of Development and Cooperation. Professor Dr. Alfitri, Dean of Faculty Social and Political Sciences. Thank you for coming, Professor. Professor Joni Emirzon, Dean of Faculty of Law. Welcome. Good morning, Professor. Dr. Abdul Najib, Head of Faculty Senate, thank you for coming. Dr. Ashar, Vice Dean of Education, Faculty of Social and Political Sciences. Bapak Muhammad Rashid, Head of Faculty Senate, Faculty of Law. Dr. M. Syaifuddin, Vice Dean of Education, Faculty of Law. Dr. Meria Utama, Head of International Law Division. Dr. Zulhidayat, Vice Dean of Student and Alumni, Faculty of Law. Representative from Ukraine Embassy to the Republic of Indonesia. You don't have staff
Online.
here. Okay, so you come here alone? Okay. Head of Department and Laboratory, Faculty of Social and Political Sciences. Head of Department and Laboratory, Faculty of Law. Lecturers and all the participants who joined the seminar today. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, the public lecture today aims to give you an important narrative about peace, justice, and strong institutions in the context of global politics. As we all know, commitment to create well-being environment where countries can work together and reduce tension is something that is quite luxurious recently. conflict is still be our homework, which I think we need to address wise and correctly. So the key message of today's public lecture is to recall and remind us that solidarity to create peace is unconditional, which is our together homework. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, since this public lecture is designed to be interactive, we encourage the participant to ask questions, share thoughts, and present relevant example. Ambassador, the public lecture will begin with your presentation or lecture, and then the audience can ask a question, and then you can recap all the session. You have 60 minutes. Is that enough? No, it's exclude the Q&A session, so you can talk about many things, Ambassador. After this? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, first I will begin to introduce our speaker. His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Fasil commenced his duty as Ambassador of Ukraine to the Republic of Indonesia on July 2021. Ambassador Dr. Fasil started his career in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Ukraine in 22 as the third Secretary of Asia Pacific. Ambassador Dr. Fasil has traveled to various places in Indonesia to strengthen the friendship between Ukraine and Indonesia through education, culture, economic, and many other aspects. So without further ado, I will invite His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Fasil to share the presentation. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Merdeka! Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm really glad to see you. Thank you for inviting. Saya mau mengucapkan matur nuwun. Terima kasih banyak atas invitation. It's mendukungnya. Sorry, I still don't speak bahasa dengan lancar. I forget words all the time. So better I will. Nobody has problems with English. I don't have doubts about that. Yeah, no problem. So I will be try to be very clear and very subjective, right? So everyone can hear me clearly, and I do expect questions. So, as a former lecturer and former researcher of I was doing research of Chinese history of modern times and Chinese language and Chinese ancient literature, and I did my Ph.D. in world history, but I did my master's in Chinese language and literature. So if you ask questions, please use Ukrainian, English, or Chinese. It's okay. Unfortunately, normally if I give lectures, I don't like lectures, because I know Indonesian people are proud people of democratic free country. They don't want to be lectured. They don't want to be taught, preached and things. So I call it communication. So let's communicate. 60 minutes that I was kindly given by our moderator. It's something, just to warm up. I can speak for hours and hours and hours if we talk about something that I am deep into, we talk about foreign relations history or the geopolitics of things. So that's why we do it this way. I will make a small brief introduction into what I want to say, and then you ask me questions, because my experience tells me that everywhere in the world, everywhere in Indonesia, every university or the other place, like talking to students, talking to murid-murid, mahasiswa-mahasiswa, or to the media people, they are interested in very different things. And the questions I cannot predict. It's like millions of them. So I would be glad if you ask me any questions you feel comfortable, you feel appropriate. So it's okay. Don't hesitate. Don't be malu, ya. Jangan malu. Don't speak Indonesian. Unfortunately, it's a big challenge for me, but yeah. So the topic of today's communication will be the justice, resilience, will be humanity. Why is that so? Because when we discuss the war in the center of Europe in the beginning of 21st century, we think about it as of something impossible. No one could predict, no one could anticipate that in these times where the people are talking about exploration of Mars, settlements on the moon, will have the barbaric war everywhere in the world, actually. We see the war in the Middle East, which is outrageous. We see the war in the center of Europe, namely in Ukraine, which is outrageous. We see the conflicts in Africa, in Asia. We see the danger of the conflicts, which is also very scary in the other parts of the world. So it brings us to the point, to the starting points, where we are, who we are. Why would the war start? And this is a key question, because answering the question, why would one nation attack the other nation, will enable us to prevent these wars, these attacks, these invasions in the future, for sure. Because understanding, deep understanding, will lead to solidarity, will lead to consolidation of the forces of the global countries, global community, and preventing it. Misunderstanding, which is the aim of the mostly dictatorship regimes, authoritarian regimes, will lead to the misinterpretations, misleading, and give the grounds to many people to think that, well, the invasion is okay, obviously. So we are talking about the starting points of the war. And this leads us to, please raise hands, who are the students of the Faculty of International Relations? Who are studying international hubungan? What is this for? Okay. And hukum? All the rest? No. Yeah, no. I mean the international relations, hukum, and anyone else from other faculties? No. Okay. Okay. So mainly it's humanitarians. Yeah. So we'll mainly go to the to the international relations and law and all these things. So for the foreign policies, you might understand. Well, law is very tightly linked to the foreign policies and all. And if you understand that during the wartime, as we never experienced before, but now we do, all the mechanisms, all the processes that take place in the society, in the politics, in the country, in the economy, they change dramatically due to the challenges, of war. So we have in no time, the country that was under attack had to redirect, rebuild, and re-establish the systems of foreign relations, economy, military and defense industry, business, law. Because, like in my country now, it's a martial law. So it's very different from what we could have imagined in our lives. We have the limitations for moving to and from the zone of close to the military operations. We have limitations in time. For example, after midnight, we cannot go out from your house. Otherwise, you'll be checked, and maybe you'll stay there in the block post for till the morning, till 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, etc., etc. So who can tell me if you have any ideas? How and why the war started? Any war. Why the war started? Any ideas? What is it? Interest. We have many reasons to start the war. One is territory. Second is resources. Third is demography. Four is interests, like geopolitical interests, right? 5 is concerns, yeah, etc., etc. So we have actually multiple reasons. But in the 21st century, for the country that I just take one example. I don't go for the other examples. If you what I call upon you, first of all, sorry, I forgot to say, if you be so kind as to follow me on Instagram and also the Embassy of Ukraine on Instagram, I will be grateful. So you just enter this Fasil Hamianin and that will show you on Instagram. So because there you can find some things, some facts, some you can make a comparison and do fact checking. So in the if you go back like more than 70 years ago, you will see that the whole world system of empires started to disintegrate. The big, huge empires like British Empire, like etc., etc., they started to disappear, and a lot of new countries appeared on the map. Well, the latest example of that actually was the Soviet Union, because well, as a former citizen of the Soviet Union, because I started to be mahasiswa before the Soviet Union disappeared, so I know pretty well and I experienced this, how it works. Overnight, it stopped being a country. It turned into 15 independent states. And that was the peaceful disintegration. Why no war incurred immediately, like overnight? Why nothing happened then? Why no bloodshed conflicts led to disintegration, but just an agreement? It was the way the Soviet Union was built. It was built like a confederation. 15 independent states united in one union, like a European Union. So anytime, at any moment, any country supposedly could apply and leave. Yeah. But there was a mine inside the every disintegration of every empire. As you could see from the history, disintegration of many of big empires led to the wrong borders. So the borders were drawn like straight lines, which cut the tribes, cut the families in two or few or many parts, and that was potentially a big conflict that led to the wars after that, and that's what we are facing in the world now, right? In the Soviet Union was a different situation. The bomb was placed in the very idea of the Soviet Union, the empire. Soviet Union originally was the copy-paste model of the Russian Empire, which existed for the, say, last 300 something years. So roughly, as you speak about your history of being colonized. So we have been fighting against Russia for 350 years. 350 years. I'm saying very precise figures. Since 1654. Since 1654. It's a precise date when one of our leaders, Ukrainian leaders, in desperation signed the military union with then Moscow Kingdom, 1654. So since then, we've been trying to get rid of this empire, get rid of this slavery, because what Russian does is enslaving people, not colonizing even. So the huge empire existed before the Bolsheviks came, and then they created another type of empire, like with pretending to be a sort of democratic, right? So free states united as one, by force, of course. And then overnight, in 1991, the founding fathers of this union decided to stop it. So we all leave. So it disintegrated. We left. Russia was the biggest territory in the world, with the rather big population and the enormous natural resources, enormous military mighty, enormous human resources, etc. So the country has all possible resources existing in the world. But the problem for this situation is that the empire mentality, imperial mentality, imperial feelings of the Russian elites never cease to exist. And the empires need to expand. And the Russian Empire, the biggest tragedy, as Russian President Vladimir Putin said, who can mention the biggest geopolitical tragedy of the 20th century? What was that? Who can you mention? What was the worst that happened in the 20th century? People say World War II, yeah? People say Holocaust. People say World War I and World War II. People say whatever they think about. Like maybe the Soviet Empire's crimes they committed. You know that in Ukraine in 1920 or 1932, 1933, over 1 year, because of the Great Famine arranged by the Bolsheviks, by Communist Party, only in Ukraine, over 4 to 6 million people died of hunger, died of starvation, just died like that. They were taking away all food, they were surrounded, and no one can get any food, so they died just because they didn't want to be in the empire. Yeah? So these are big tragedies, but for the Russian leaders, the biggest tragedy was the disintegration of the Soviet Union. Can you imagine that? That was the bad sign, that was the bad message to the world, but we did not listen to that message. So, what happened next? Next was Moldova, with the part of it occupied by Russian troops still now. Next it was Georgia and Chechnya and Armenia and Azerbaijan, the Caucasus, where so many people died and so many territories were under fire and still, like now, greatly endangered. Then it was what? Another Chechnya, when around 300,000 citizens of Chechnya, predominantly women, children, and like civilians, were killed by Russians. Simply, like destroyed, like murdered in cold blood. Muslim people. Then it was Georgia, 2008. Then it was Ukraine, 2014. Occupation of Crimea and war in Donbass, and then it was big war in Ukraine 2022. So this is how empires survive. This is how empires breathe. And compared to Russia, everyone is small, right? So I would say Ukraine compared to Russia, 600,000 square kilometers for Ukraine. It's like, Pulau Jawa times 5, I think. And then 17 million square kilometers of Russia. So they are like 17 million square kilometers bigger than us, so roughly speaking. Nuclear power, nuclear missiles, plenty of tanks, whatever, aircrafts, helicopters. And Ukraine basically, like the military industry, basically destroyed. So we were under attack back in 14, and then before the big invasion, we still did not believe that can be big. We still did not believe that can be bad like that. And when the war came, we had to rebuild everything we had. We had to rebuild our lives. We have to rebuild our economy. We have to rebuild business, the way of normality. So people changed the way of normality. By the way, one of the results of that, we became one of the best, one of the leading countries in the world providing online education, because 5 years already. 2 years of COVID, 3 years of war. So all our kids, Mahasiswa, students, Murid, they study online, most of them. Because otherwise it's very dangerous to gather in one place in one time, so anytime Rudal or a drone can come and kill. So, but how did we manage to survive? The answers lie back in the history, and the answers lie in the present times. Historically, it's funny thing to understand that if you go retrospectively into the history and see how we are different, why we are different. Because Russian propaganda tells you that, Russian, Belarus and Ukrainians are brothers, like since times immemorial, yeah? And I remind you, 350 years of resistance or fight for independence, 350 years. Fighting for our language, fighting for our national identity, fighting for our traditions, fighting for our freedom. Since those times when Moscow didn't even exist, Ukraine was one of the biggest, most powerful, one of the most powerful and one of the most educated countries in Europe. By the time the Kiev, the capital of Ukraine, was destroyed by Mongolian troops in 1240, by that time Kiev was the second biggest town in Europe after Constantinople, now Istanbul, second biggest. Kiev kings were the father-in-laws to all many European countries, biggest countries like France, like Sweden, like Lithuania, like Poland, like Hungary, etc. Kiev kings had one of the biggest and most powerful armies and the wonderful, huge libraries. Ukrainian women could write. At that time, they were literate. They could write, they could read. Even women, you know this system is complicated, yeah? Through centuries, women were like more working, but the guys who were writing books were men, yeah? In Ukraine, it was equal. Now, Ukraine, I give you one secret. Ukraine has always been the country without kings. In the kings, no kings. So all kings in Ukraine were like elected, not inherited. So kings can be elected and re-elected. We don't like, we come to the square and say, come here, report. So, we don't like you, get away. That was our problem through centuries, because this led to a very straight democracy, but also led to very straight anarchy, because too many people desired too many different things. And at one point, even happened that we Ukrainians called the Nordics to come and rule us. We asked the Nordics, like Vikings, say, guys, come, because we cannot. We're too different, right? So no bineka tungalika, no only difference, no unity that time. Say, come and rule, yeah. But in the minds of Ukrainian people, on that time, still now, we don't have any power that should force us or rule us or anything. That's why in even the last, 30 years since our independence, 4 revolutions in Ukraine, like 4 big protests that led to some serious changes. One is even before the independence that forced our leaders, that communist leaders, to say, well, we want to be independent. Second one, 2004. Third one, 2014. And the third one, when? Oh, maybe 3. But every time we are not happy, we come to the square, and we, despite the way we look, like nice and kind people, we can be very strong in fighting for our ideals, for our principles, for our values. This is what the last Maidan of 2013 proved. Country without kings. Unlike Russia, which inherited the system of Mongolian rule, when we have the top, the king, or the emperor, or whoever, and all and everyone under this is the slave. There is no European system of ruling, no European system of monarchy, but the Mongolian system. One son of God, son of whoever, son of heavens, yeah? And then all the rest are slaves. There is a very famous proverb in Russian, not proverb, but the quotation from Russian emperor, that in this country, only this person has any value to whom I talk. And only during the time I talk to him. All the rest, nothing. Rubbish, dust. Yeah. So, at this moment, I think we're going quite... No, 30 minutes. I have questions and answers. No, but this 30 minutes is already... Okay. Yeah. So we go back to the 24th of February 2022. Can anyone tell me the few features of the authoritarian or totalitarian regime even? Well, I think you know this because the people who study the law and the foreign relations must know this. The main characteristic features. One of them is, and this is vividly proved by the history of the Nazi Germany, by the symbolism. Everything must be very symbolic. All the signs, all the figures, all the dates, everything, it should be very symbolic. And then people often ask me why Russia committed the big attack on Ukraine, not in 2021, not in 2023, not in 2019, because they could have attacked in 2014 and go 4 and 4. Why 2022? Does anyone know? Why 2022? Because it's simple. Because 2022, Putin wanted to celebrate 100th anniversary of the Soviet Union. Soviet Union was created in 1922. And that was very symbolic. And why 24th of February? Because 23rd of February is the Soviet Army Day, the holiday of military. That was the decision. And this explains a lot in terms of symbols. Now, how Ukrainian lives since then? I can give you a few figures. Not much. It's more for the students of the Faculty of Hukum, because we have already, I don't know the correct figure, but it's about 100,000 cases under investigation. More than that, already filed, prepared, and under investigation regarding the massive violation of human rights during the war. Massive violation of massive crimes against humanity, war crimes, etc. So since then, 1,000 days of war, nearly 1,000 days of war. We have around 200,000 residential buildings destroyed. We have thousands, I would not give you again the correct figures, but this doesn't matter, you can check it even in my Instagram. Thousands of educational objects, I think around 7,000 educational objects, like infrastructure, like schools, universities. Later I will give you some little gift again to the university, and it was made with the support of Mariupol State University, by my good friends. And then where they have a meeting in the rectorate building, direct hit of missile, all dead, all my friends. Rector, vice rector, decan, and all the team. Just one hit, one missile. Satu rudal, no building, no team. That's one example. I know these people. I worked with them, and that was a big tragedy. Around only Mariupol, while attacking Mariupol, around 25,000 recorded killings of civilians. 25,000 recorded. Unrecorded, nobody knows, because it's still under occupation. more than 3,000 war crimes committed against children. More than 9,000 rudal launched at Ukrainian civilian infrastructure. Can you imagine that? 1,000 day, 9,000 rudal. So in average, every day, 9 missiles. One missile, it's a, you can imagine that. You just Google Google the war destruction from missiles, you can see what I mean. And this plus few thousands of drones provided by Iran and produced by Russia too, few thousand. Every day, my family all in Ukraine. My mother, my wife, my kids all in Ukraine, they don't want to leave. Every day, over my country, dozens and dozens of drones. Yesterday, 145, just one night. 145 drones plus missiles. Okay, you can imagine that. How people live in terror, in horror, afraid of, of the children's lives and everything. Now, meanwhile, just the statistics. Around 15% of Ukrainian territory occupied. And not just occupied, but virtually destroyed. So the way of doing the liberation, as Russians used to say, is just burn the land, turn it into the desert. And by the way, pay attention. Have you heard have you heard about any explanations, any reasons why Russia started this war? Have you heard about anything? Just anything? No. They don't say annexation. Russians don't say that. They explain why they do this. Normally you listen to, I don't know, Lavrov or whoever, foreign minister. They say two reasons. First, main reason, we liberate the Russian-speaking population. We help our brothers and sisters in Donbass. Now, I think we can speak about over 100,000 killed and around 5 million of people, or around 7 million people displaced. So left the homes and live somewhere. 80% or maybe 90% of those people are Russian-speaking population. So they are liberating Russian-speaking population. They are liberating the brothers and sisters by killing them, by destroying the houses, destroying the cities, and just leaving the burnt land. So that's the reality, if I may. Now, 15% I told you, yeah. Grave ecological damage. Last year, the big dam in Kakhovka was destroyed. Immediately, in a couple of days, over 600,000 families, houses were flooded. 600,000. Nobody knows even how many people died, how many animals died, how many natural resources were damaged, how much damage it caused to the ecology, because it's fish, it's everything that lives in the ecosystem of the rivers. The siege of the nuclear power station in Zaporizhia, the second biggest nuclear power station in Europe. First biggest, sorry. In the Eastern Europe, it's the first biggest. In the Europe, it's second biggest. Now is in the hands of Russians, hands of occupants, and nobody knows what can happen tomorrow. Because if this station, all remember Chernobyl, right? If this happens, this will be twice as bad, because it's big. And we still don't have any access to it. We still have, the whole region of the Black Sea is in grave danger now. What else? I can give you examples time and time again. Now, at the same time, we have around 30% of our economy destroyed and damaged. But at the same time, how do we survive? Just, what do you think? How people can survive in this situation? Remember, we are not in the Middle Ages where we literally can get get the cow and get the kids and just move somewhere in the forest and wait till something changes. No, we have to. It's our land. It's our business, our everything. Yeah. How do we survive? First, I will not tell first, second, or third. One thing is, the day Russia declared the war to Ukraine, or basically not declared the war, but started to attack and killing and invading, I think absolute majority of Ukrainian masculines, men, went to the meeting points, to the military meeting points, and declared they wanted to go to fight. So the mobilization, volunteering mobilization started very first day. And there were like thousands and millions of people crowding there, waiting for the weapons, waiting for the arrangements into the regiments and go fighting as a natural. Second, definitely we survived because of the assistance from our friends, from our partners. Because not now, not 100 years ago, not even 200 years ago, the nations could efficiently survive without the external support. Indonesia, while fighting for its independence, had a very bad times, very grave number of victims. Millions of people died, I guess. But I guess without the external help, without the real support from the countries that really felt like that or thought like that, thought likewise, including the United States of America, you survived. You obtain your independence, you become the great, democratic, and wonderful country. Now you can live in peace and study in peace. China, big and poor and weak country under Japanese invasion, couldn't have survived if not the Union, Soviet Union and United States and all the countries that participated that managed to do this and saved them actually from the very grave consequences if this lasts forever. No one can survive alone in this country, especially if you are under attack of a giant, badly educated, badly equipped, but huge. By the time of we depend on the support from our partners, and we're talking not just about the weapons and ammunition, because now Ukraine in 3 years we started to produce a lot of weapons and ammunition ourselves. We produce munition, we produce shells, we produce mines, we produce drones in huge quantities, etc., etc. So we can be a little bit of self-sufficient somehow, but very important is economic side. To keep economy running. We still have 30 million people in the country, 30 million, understanding that 30% of the economy is destroyed, so what do? Now we are running the country still. So the businesses are rearranged, businesses are changing, the new businesses are created, people who used to produce, bread or milk, they now produce drones. I don't know what. This. Help. And definitely moral support. We need moral support. We need loud voices of countries speaking, allowed for the principles, allowed for the humanity. You don't need to be Palestinian or to support Palestinian people, right? You need to be human. Same. You don't need to be Ukrainian to support Ukrainian civilians from being killed. You need to be human. It's human voice of humanity. And here I'm really feel very proud that we did it. As you remember, in June 2022, President Joko Widodo was the first leader from the non-Western world, and actually the first leader from Asia, Africa, Latin America that visited Ukraine at that time with Ibu Negara. The extremely brave and extremely symbolic visit, and which after that led to the invitation of Ukraine to the G20 summit in Bali. And that was the place where and when President Zelensky of Ukraine presented his peace plan, which is we call peace formula, 10 points, which consist of the things that are very directly and straightly understood by every Indonesian. Food security, energy security, kemanusiaan, release the prisoners of war, and by the way, 20,000 illegally deported children. 20,000 Ukrainian children were illegally deported by Russia to Russia, illegally distributed into families. This is a big tragedy for us too, etc. So nuclear safety also. So these are points with a clear, and we still hope that Indonesia will be very actively involved into the discussion on the platform of peace formula. But peace formula is a one and only acceptable platform for the peace regulation in Ukraine, for the one simple reason. Ukrainians are kind people, but we are stubborn, and we don't want to discuss Ukraine without Ukraine. So the principle is very simple. Two principles: no discussions about, nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine. And second principle, UN Charter. The principles enshrined in the UN Charter. And actually the peace formula, funny thing, maybe for the lawyers, future lawyers, it'll be fun when you know that the peace formula of Vladimir Zelensky, it was not intentional, but then we checked the facts, double-checked. It nearly 100% fits the Bandung Declaration of 1955. Nearly perfectly fits into the 10 points of the peaceful coexistence. So one by one. And that was a great surprise for us because we didn't realize. And then we started to getting ready for the Bandung Declaration, Jubilee next year, and then we said, wow, that's what we did. That's actually what we recreated now because we had to. So I think I'm wasting time. I think I will pass over to the questions and answers because I can talk along, and it's really limited of time, and I feel that since we are limited in time, I start, being not very specific about the point. So let's come to the questions and answers. But before that, give me this. I will just this one. I think I will. I want to show you this. Some time ago, as Bapak Rektor mentioned the Pranko, the stamp. Some time ago, before I came here in 2021, me and my friends decided to create, before I come here, we call it a gallery of Pahlawan Indonesia. And we have, we created the gallery, then we translated some quotations and translated something else and make it a posters, make it a poetry. And it was started from Rongo Warsito, from his Serat Kolotido. We started translated into Ukrainian, to Jenderal Sudirman, to Haril Anwar, to Ki Hajar Dewantara, to Jenderal Polisi Hugeng Iman Santoso, to who? Many. We have a big gallery on that. And I want to present this to you. Yeah, thank you. This is a very symbolic to us now. It's Kravam Bekasi, poetry by Haril Anwar, translated into Ukrainian here. And you know what? This poetry is something that many of our military people know. They read it and say, how come? Who wrote this? I say, well, this is Indonesian poet from Sumatra, actually. Minangkabau man from Medan, yeah? And then, when? So, like 70 years ago. So, why it feels like it was written yesterday? That's how military people say. Because it's Kami Mati Muda. It's about people who died young, about people, but they want to be remembered. That's Krawan Bekasi. And they want to be remembered. And the bones of these heroes who sacrificed themselves lie all the way from Krawan to Bekasi and all around the Indonesia, all around Nusantara. So remember us, remember them, remember our heroes. And of course, the immortal Aku. Aku ini binatang jalan. Also Hari Lanwar. You know, this, I hope this will go to some library. You see, here the QR code here.
Oh, yes, the QR code.
QR code over there, over there, over there.
Oh, this is the
Yeah,
QR code.
here and here. And if you try QR code, two of three, I think that's me reciting the poems 3 years ago. Wow. Very bad language, but still I was trying hard. So you may have fun looking at that. And after the questions and answers, I'll make a little, because you know what, I really understand that unfortunately till now we don't have massive exchange of between the cultural layers of our societies, unfortunately, for so many years. We still don't have enough literature translated from Bahasa into Ukrainian. We have some, but not too many. Some poetry, some books, but not that many. Actually, recently, 3 years ago, we translated movie Darah Garuda into Ukrainian and dubbed it. We translated Pidato Surabaya by Bung Tomo, translated into Ukrainian and spread it all around. But it's very sedikit. We need to do more. And that's why we, the other day, we agreed with the leadership of the university to open the little book corner in your library, perpustakaan, yeah? So I hope that every one of you, if you are interested, can come to the library and have access to the books. Not many in English, most of them in English, but some of them are really entertaining. So welcome to that. And now questions and answers?
Okay. Thank you, Ambassador, for the
moderator?
lectures. Yes, this is one of my favorite part of your lecture. I will quote from you, okay, Ambassador. You don't need to be Ukrainian to feel the conflict. You just need to be human. It feels very emotional and touching for me personally, Ambassador. And I'm sure that the audience has a lot in their mind. We can start the Q&A session. Okay, please have a seat, Ambassador. Thank you very much. Okay, for the first batch, I will take 3 questions from the floor. Please raise your hand, state your name, department, and followed by the question briefly. 1 from this side, and then 1 from the central, and 1 from the right side. Okay. Okay, 1 from you, the one, yes. Please stand up. Another 1 from the central, yes for you. From the 1 from the back. Stand up, please.
Which one?
Okay. Silakan, dipersilakan.
Can the committee help to coordinate the microphone to the audience?
I can share my microphone, no problem.
I can share my microphone also.
Okay, everyone. My name is Kuzaima Nashwa. I'm from International Relation, the Faculty of Social and Political Science. I want to ask something. I saw a video of someone who lived in Indonesia that it's Ukrainian that the family is still in Ukraine. She told that even though the civilian got like damaged buildings, but they still go to school as usual, work as usual. And how did this happen? How can the Ukrainian government commit to continuing to try to maintain the survival and safety of civilians in the affected areas? And then are there things such as compensation for civilians who are directly affected? Thank you.
Another question is for you, Miss. Yes, please stand up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Aisha and I am from International Relations. My question is, we know Ukraine has faced significant humanitarian challenge due to the ongoing conflict. And my question is, how does the Ukrainian embassy engage with Indonesia in terms of raising awareness and seeking support for humanitarian aid? Thank you.
Thank you. And the last question is for you. Yes, please stand up, the one wearing the red blouse.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for opportunity to attend the public lecture of by Dr. Vasil Humanian as the ambassador of Ukraine to Indonesia. It is truly a honor for me to participate in this insightful event, and I greatly appreciate the valuable knowledge and perspective shared during this session. So allow me to introduce myself. My name is Rahel Rianto. I'm from the Faculty of Social and Political Science with International Study Program. So a few days ago, I saw on social media reports indicating that North Korea is providing military support to Russia in ongoing Ukraine-Russia war and further complicating the battlefield for Ukraine. At the same time, the recent of United States election result, which bring Donald Trump back into the office, raises potential changes in American foreign policy toward Ukraine. The crucial of support Ukraine has relied on its now uncertain, especially with the emerging alliance between Russia and North Korea. So what I like about to ask of this issue is, how does Ukraine perceive the potential shift in United States support for the Ukraine-Russia war following Donald Trump victory? And how is Ukraine addressing North Korea's military support to Russia that impacts the battlefield of the situation? Thank you.
Good questions. I will answer very briefly because it has. Well, okay. Let me answer in 1 minute or in 1 hour. Yeah. So, first questions. First, please watch, find and watch 20 Days in Mariupol. The Nobel winner for the Nobel Prize winner for, Nobel Prize winner, come on. Oh my God, American Oscar Prize winner. 20 Days in Mariupol. Watch it, you will understand how civilians feel during the beginning of the war. But Ukrainians are funny guys, funny people, they adopt very fast to anything. I mean, now now we have 1,000 days of bombardments. Now my mother wakes up every time the drone flies or the siren, you know, there's this huge, awful sound. But my kids do not wake up. They just got, okay, it's fine. They have to rest. That's what happens. So sometimes we wake them up, sometimes don't. We assess the danger and things. So life as usual is, for some people, for many people, for most of the people, I think, life as usual is more important than like saving lives and thinking about the danger all the time. You overload with the feeling of danger, you know, and then people collapse. That is the purpose of a Russian regime, to make people collapse, to make people faint, to make people demand, oh, stop the war, whatever, I want to sleep, I don't want this nitrates. No. This doesn't work like that. People got adapt. And now the more attacks come on, the more people hate the invaders, not the otherwise. Not they want to beg for mercy, no, they hate them. And they don't want to surrender. That's a point. And of course, well, only a few examples. Now in the cities which are very close to the war front line, like Kharkiv, like Dnipro, like some other cities, big cities, already the government already built the underground schools. Unfortunately, but there are underground schools functioning already. So kids can study or kindergartens, like for smaller kids, for smaller children, before the primary school, they study underground, like in the metro, like bunkers, really good, well equipped, the best equipment we can get, and they are studying there. That's how the plus, of course, the system of information, like people know what to do, people are trained. If the siren sounds, they know what to do. If they are far away from the shelter, they go in between the big walls in the house, so they don't stay close to the windows or the thin walls. They go into the like the earthquake. Same story. So basically, they are prepared. And as for the compensations, to the extent we can provide the compensation, we do, because people move from the houses totally destroyed. They move to the other places in Ukraine. Some of them go abroad. Some of them go to the relatives. Some of them rent the house and work and something. Some of them don't have anything. Those people, of course, get help and get compensations to the extent they can. Some of them, the first days of the occupation, very famous names like Irpin, like Bucha, like Borodyanka, like, small houses, small towns near Kyiv that were attacked first, and they were destroyed, like seriously damaged and destroyed. Now rebuilt, you cannot recognize. Times better than they were before the aggression. Now I know, because my mother lives very close to that, so I visit them this summer and say, oh my God, it's like a new city, new town, very clean, very neat, very beautiful. So that's how it goes on. And a little minute of advertising. We have the most, I think we are like in the first 5 in the world, maybe first 3 in the world, as for digitalization of our lives. So in every phone, every mobile phone, we have this supplement, this software called Action. And this will include everything, including you can make payments of your, fines for violation of traffic rules, yeah? You can pay it within seconds. You can sell a car within half an hour. You can buy a car within half an hour. Just buy and get your new documents for that. You can apply for compensation when your house is destroyed online, on there. So basically it's e-government and e-life. We call it not just e-governance, but e-life. And we're very good in that, and we are willing to help Indonesian government in that, because we're really good in that. So hope to meet your respective minister and to provide assistance. Second question is the humanitarian aid. Well, we try to do a lot. We try to approach the charity foundations of Indonesia. We try to approach the communities, like Muslim communities, like Christian communities, like Catholic communities. We do charity auctions, we do charity events, and most of all, we try to, call upon the people to help. Well, the most recent example was the end of the year 2023, when the government of Indonesia provided Ukraine with $5 million of humanitarian assistance for rebuilding the destroyed hospitals. So, well, a part of that we've collected, but we're still online. We're still trying to contact the Red Cross of Red Cross Indonesia, and this month I think we'll have the not this month, beginning of December, we'll have the charity auction for Ukrainian art in Jakarta. So this all will goes to the charity foundation of the Ibu Negara Ukraina. So that's what we did. And the third question is North Korea. You know what? The unfortunate rule for us, that dictatorships tend to support each other. This is the rule. You go around the world, you see who is piling together, who is standing. Russia, Iran, North Korea, for goodness sake. Yeah, so I don't want Eritrea. I don't want to be in this company, to be honest. This is too obvious, right? So they support each other. This is very, I think this is a big humiliation for the Russian Federation, for the country that claims to be the what, second biggest army in the world or something like that. So now it begs North Korea, like what, 50 years or 70 years under sanctions, and Iran, like what, 50 years under sanctions, begging them for military assistance. For goodness sake, what it means, yeah? So now North Korea sent North Korean soldiers to die in Ukraine. I would not call it the other way. It's not like help Russia, but to die, because no experience, no weapons, no significant ammunition. They just die. So what's my position is very simple. I mean, the world community, democracy should unite and say no to that. That's so simple. Because you are the future ministers of foreign affairs, diplomats, and lawyers, yeah? I tell you something. I'm a historian, so I'm not looking for the future, I'm looking for the past. And the history always repeats itself. If we don't stop the spread of the dictatorship now, tomorrow there will be the virus everywhere. This virus will be everywhere, this plague. Now, it's not because I'm Ukrainian, but if Ukraine loses, if Ukraine falls, tomorrow there will be wars everywhere. Moreover, if Ukraine falls, tomorrow, most of the countries with money will want to have nuclear weapons, because they will understand they can only defend themselves with this. You cannot defend themselves with solidarity. That's why solidarity is so important. Only solidarity will prevent tomorrow's world from being very nuclear, very dangerous, and very, back in the Middle Ages, come on. Nobody cares about nothing. I am big, I'm strong, I kill you. That's it. So to prevent this, we need solidarity today. Yeah? And for the US, okay. I'm very happy for American people, if you ask me that. I congratulate the American people for democracy, for free, like I congratulated Indonesian people for the free elections, for democratic elections. They elect whom they deserve, like Indonesian people, like Ukrainian people. They want to elect Mr. A or Mr. B, so be it. So I'm happy that they've made the choice, and I hope that for the United States of America, as the country famous for its freedoms, for its democracy and principles, I think there will be no hesitation in that, in whom to support. Yeah, that's my hope, inshallah.
Thank you, Ambassador. Okay. Yes.
Two more questions.
Okay. For the last batch of the question, I would like to invite our lecturers, please, Bapak Andi and another one, and Bapak Ferdi to ask the question to the ambassador.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you for the chance given, Your Excellency, Dr. Fasil Haminianin. I am Dr. Andi Alawati from the Faculty of Social and Political Sciences. As you know, that Indonesia has very good relationship with Ukraine and as well as with Russia. How happy are you with the role of Indonesia in this situation? That's the first one. And the second one, as you know, that war between the two countries has been quite long time. How can Ukraine survive from this situation, especially in terms of the availability of food, like fuel and other things? Thank you.
How can we survive?
How can Ukraine survive?
Okay. Good morning, Ambassador. Me, Febri Diantoro, Rifai. I'm a Secretary of International Relations Department. Okay, I know your country since I was a kid. When I see Andriy Shevchenko, player for the Dynamo Kiev and AC Milan, and also in Chelsea, and so I know your country since a long time ago. But now on, as an international relation scholar, I want to see something. You know that in Indonesia, a famous or a very popular explanation about why Ukraine and Russia do the conflict and war is coming from a neorealism professor in Chicago University, John Marsheimer. He said that there is a structural problem because the United States of America wants to or inviting the Ukraine to join the NATO and also the European Union. Meanwhile, the Russia is one the Ukraine being a buffer zone, and you know that this is the most popular explanation about why this war is happened. So I want to know how do you feel or how do you see this explanation? How do Ukraine see the explanation? Because it's very important to me. Thank you so much, Ambassador.
Thank you. Yes, one more. Okay, I will invite one more question from the student of law faculty. Ambassador Hamianin is happy to have one other question. Anyone to volunteer? Yes, one with the red blouse. Please stand up, miss. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. My name is Firly Nurlamima. I'm from International Law Faculty of University of Sriwijaya. It's an honor for me to ask a question to you, Mr. Ambassador. So my question is, looking forward, how can Ukraine balance the need for resilience with the need for recovery and the rebuilding? Okay, thank you.
Once again, slowly.
Looking forward, how can Ukraine balance the need for resilience with the need for recovery and rebuilding?
Recovery and rebuilding.
Yes.
So okay, I'll go from the easier to difficult. Yeah, not in the order. So the easy one, recovery and rebuilding, right? So recovery and rebuilding is something that already started. So already we had 3 conferences on Ukrainian recovery and rebuilding took place in Europe, in London, in Germany, and in Switzerland, I think. So every year we invite the business people, the investors, the insurance companies, global insurance companies, and global financiers to participate in the conferences, including Indonesia, but unfortunately till now I don't think anyone participated. This is about how to invest into the big project called Rebuild Ukraine, worth $1 trillion and plus. So there are ways, there are schemes, there are proposals, and there are main questions for here is 2. One thing, where do we get the money from? And second, how do we guarantee this will not be destroyed, like insurance? So we have to know the sources of financing and insurance. That's it. Main things that that everyone is interested in. Main things. So these things are being discussed in the conferences. Watch it. Conference on rebuilding, on Ukraine rebuilding, every year. So it will be, well, it's already been done, right? Because some regions need recovery, some regions that we already liberated from Russian invasion, we already did recovery, and that was quite successful. So money sources could be different. State money, borrowed money from the World Bank or other banks, like global banks. Investors are very keen on investing now, because now it's very good, bad to say so, but any zone of war or conflict, sometimes it's very good for doing business. Sometimes you can getting resources you will never get before. You can get access to something you can never get access to before. For example, many Ukrainian owners and holders of the technologies, very nice technologies, they now go out and propose, because before they will sell you product. Now they are ready to go out and establish joint venture in Indonesia. Now I'm proposing a lot of things like extraordinary and wonderful. We would never do it before, but now we can, right? So that's about the recovery and everything. Second question is well, how do we survive? Few things. As I mentioned in the beginning of this story, we rebuild the economy. We all the businesses now trying to fit the reality. So as I say, you produce cigarettes, now you produce bullets. You produce milk, now you produce the food for soldiers or maybe something else. So these are the story. Second, definitely the support. We receive support. This is no shame to say so. So we receive the support, financial support, to stabilize the exchange rate, stabilize the currency, stabilize the economy. So now currency flow is not so bad. It's okay, like stable. People can work normally. People can like earn money, spend, and then we need to like have an impression of normal life sometimes. So we get supplies of fuel. We buy it. It's very expensive now, but still, I mean, like, we can get it. So it's depends on the Ukrainian economy partially. We still do a trade. We still do a lot of agricultural trade. We still do a lot of trade in our other goods, food and agriculture, processed and technologies and equipment. We still do this. We still produce this, and we get currency for that, and we buy what we need, right? It's bad. It's not as good as in peaceful times, but it's the reality. So we have to develop. We have to adapt. We have to save, and we, of course, somehow we rely on the foreign aid. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. It's how the Soviet Union survived during the Second World War. It was like 70% dependent on the United States. For goodness sake, if you think about it. So we still have much more self-dependence. Yeah, and so third question, I would say this, regarding is Ukraine happy with, I'm not here to criticize the policy of the Republic of Indonesia, right? So I will not criticize, I will just say my opinion. I really hope that Indonesian foreign policy is bebas aktif. Because the bebas active foreign policy, free and active foreign policy, is something that really will help the humankind to prevent the even worse wars and conflicts, and definitely may play outstanding role in ending the wars in Ukraine, in the Middle East, in other places in the world. That's one part of the answer. Second part, you know what? I hope to hear the voice, the sound voice of Indonesia. Sound voice. Naming the aggressor. Look at the 2-3 years, right? Look at the communications from the official resources. Not much, really. Not much. We need to say who is aggressor, who is who. Name it. Friends, I understand this, like friends, but you know what? If my friend kills the sister of my neighbor, maybe I can, or beaten the animal, maybe I will tell him, you know, guy, you're wrong. You are doing wrong. So change yourself, or we are not be friends. I will stand on that side, or something like that. I mean, like, I don't know now. You choose. Everyone chooses whom to stand with, whom to be together with. We made this choice long time ago. I mean, like, Ukrainians made this choice like quite a long time ago, and the choice we made 350 years ago to side with Moscow Kingdom was because we were literally surrounded by the deadly enemies, killing enemies. So we think whom to side with. We think whom to side with, and I just want to remind Indonesian people every time and every time again, stick to the facts. Don't go like friends or not friends, or this is very abstract meaning. Stick to the facts. And the facts tell us that in 1946, It was Ukraine that raised the Indonesian issue in the United Nations. And the Ukrainian delegation that fought for the Indonesia for 3 years till you were accepted as the member of the United Nations. It was Ukrainian delegations. And I saw the words of Bung Karno and the words of Terima kasih Ukraina, Terima kasih Manuelski, all that stuff. Were Ukrainian engineers that built the stadium in Jakarta, Ukrainian engineers that built an iron and steel plant in Java, etc., etc., etc. Now Russia has stolen all the results, and Russia claims that, well, it was Russia that a friend, Russia helped, Russia provided, Russia won, blah, 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 blah. But for goodness sake, there was different country. It's as if we say, well, you know, Kingdom Sriwijaya something, or Kingdom Majapahit something. You are different country now. You cannot refer to Majapahit. Well, you can, but it will not be valid for today. If you claim something that happened many years ago, well, now we go to Roman Empire, we go to Mongolian Empire, for goodness sake. And there will be big claim, trust me. Very big claim. So, like Russia claims, they did everything, they helped everybody. It was not Russia. It was the Soviet Union, 15 republics now. And we had a great, great contribution into what we did, whatever we did. Don't forget, by the way, the friend of Bung Karno, Khrushchev, is Ukrainian guy. So, after all, so who is who? It needs like, an analysis and everything. So, we need to be very careful about that in today's world, because someone told me we don't have friends or enemies, we have interests, right? That's a dangerous formula, very dangerous. Because we need to, I repeat, we need to remember who we are. Are we humans or what? So we need to remember, we are humans. Do we have principles? Do we believe in principles? Do we believe in brotherhood of Muslim people around the globe? After all, for example, we have 2 million Muslims in Ukraine suffering now, at this very moment. And they need your support. They need your voice. They need the voice of Muslim community of Indonesia telling, guys, you must stop it all around the world. We have 19,000 of Ukrainian children deported. Now many countries help in some ways. We have Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Qatar, many Emirates helping to release the war prisoners and release the Ukrainian children. After all, answering this question, do something. The voice will help. The publications of true things will help. Any naming of the aggressor will help. Condolences to the people who suffer will help. Sympathy to the people who lost the... Every day we have this, destructions and death. But this will help a lot, a lot. That's my answer, basically. So be ourselves. Be the human beings. Do something, you'll have your reward. Here or in the heavens. That's my principle all the time. And the tricky question about NATO, right? Actually, it's a tricky question, but it's simple. It's simple. First, Marsheimer, with all my respect, he's a mythologist. He's creating mythology for one good reason. For one good reason. To be historian, you need to be very boring person, you know? Boring, like digging in their facts. Oh, stop being boring. Facts. What facts you need? I give you the theory. I give you the everything. Now, his theory failed. Totally failed. And he was trying to be there like something outstanding, different from the historians. And then he became rich, I think, because of that. Or maybe this is a way of, you want to be rich, establish the new religion. You'll be very rich, right? So be a teacher, be a guru. Then Marsheimer became a guru, right? So he created his new religion, theory or whatever. So that's about Marsheimer. I don't want to even talk about it. I listened his lectures, like 3 hours of his rubbish about the Second World War and NATO, like many years ago, and his historians say, oh my God, never again. Yeah. So forget about Marsheimer. Don't listen to him. It's like, you know, No, compare the facts. Facts work. About NATO is very simple. Now, first, listen, future lawyers and diplomats, listen to this. This is very important. Now, what Russia does is build the system of disinformation and propaganda. And what, if you watch the movie, I remember with John Travolta called like Swordfish something, how the guy managed to hide an elephant in the circus while thousands of people there. Misdirection. Misdirection. They misdirect you. They lead you somewhere and they say, oh yeah, that's logical. Yeah, good, good, good. And then you go this way and as the farther you go far from the truth. Because they misdirect you. Now, NATO, first of all, no one in this world promised Putin or Gorbachev or whoever that NATO will not expand. This is lies. Show me the document. Any document. Lies. Never happened before. Second thing, NATO is the organization created just to protect its members, because small countries, can you imagine like, okay, Russia, Soviet Union attacked Finland, yeah? In no time, 20% territory cut. Soviet Union attacked Georgia, in 2 days, 20% of the territory cut. Attacked Ukraine, cut. Big countries. Can you imagine like Russia attack Estonia or Latvia, like 1 million, 2 million, 1 day, no country. So what they should do, they should seek protection, shelter in a bigger body, so they know they are protected. They not need to think about and be afraid every single day. Yeah? NATO is a protective organization, not attacking. Protective. That was the idea of NATO, at least for Europe, right? Let's not discuss something else that's complicated. But for Europe, it's a protective shelter. It's a umbrella, yeah? For Europe. Now, NATO is not looking for new members. It's a big challenge to become a NATO member. It's not that I come to NATO and say, oh, come. Become. No. Was not even a hope for us. Not even a single hope for us. Third, don't forget that before Putin attacked Ukraine in 2014, the scale of cooperation between Russia and NATO was huge. They were partners in everywhere. They were like big partners. They had like a military exercise. They have exchanges. Ukraine has very small scale of exchange with NATO. Russia is huge. So who was the partner of NATO? We or Ukraine? Oh, I mean, we or Russia, yeah? And last, don't forget, whatever they say, whatever happened between the NATO and the Warsaw Pact, that was in the times of the Cold War, where the Soviet Union existed, and all these countries were the socialist countries. Nothing to do with Russia, it's different country. Russia and Soviet Union are different countries. So whatever the agreement was, NATO against the Warsaw Pact, different story. Don't extrapolate it from one country. Again, Ottoman Empire, Mongolian Empire. So they say, well, you promised not to extend Mongolians. Why are you in Europe now? Same story. Don't ever be misled by this disinformation. So nothing. In this invasion, nothing ever can be related to NATO at all. Yeah. Again, for everybody, don't forget. Before 2014, before Russia annexed Crimea, occupied Crimea, and started the war in Donbass. Now, at that time, -2 members of NATO, now Sweden and Finland, yeah? At that time, Russia was the member of G8. All countries were very happy to work with Russia. Investors, luxurious things, everything. Everybody was happy to work with Russia. Shake hands, photo together, despite the Chechnya, despite Moldova, despite Georgia, despite Syria, Aleppo, don't forget about that. Despite all that, he was still like, very okay. Why? Why? In 2014, he lost the membership in G8. Not many people really shake hands. Investors started to leave, and that time sanctions imposed, slow warnings. Now he could have understood, it's not right. We did something wrong, right? No. The result of the negotiations, 200 rounds of negotiations with Ukraine in 2 formats, Minsk format and Normandy format. The result what? Big scale invasion. Now, who is the bad guy here? NATO? Or what?
Thank you, Ambassador. Actually, I want you to stay longer with us, but you have to catch a flight back to Jakarta, right, this afternoon? Yes. Okay, so you have opened our perspective that war will always lead to more damage and casualties than were anticipated or expected. So it is time to think about it thoroughly, ladies and gentlemen. Also, Ambassador, no, it's okay. And we would like to express our sympathy to the civilians of Ukraine who has been the victim of conflict between Russia and Ukraine. We hope that the world leaders of 2 countries can reach mutual agreement and end the war in the near future. You have our sympathy, Ambassador.
Thank you so much. And I also have a hope that the new president of the Republic of Indonesia, Bapak Prabowo, will really do something, because he was very decisive on doing right thing and doing it very seriously. So we all pray for that. We all expect that. We all wait for Pak Prabowo's ideas, for Pak Prabowo's direct and straight involvement into the peace building process to make this world a safer place, better place.
Thank you, Ambassador, for your time and expertise. I would like the audience to give him applause. Give Ambassador Dr. Fasil a big round of applause. Also, thank you for joining us today. I give the floor back to the MC.
Books, yeah?
The ambassador has souvenir for us.
But really, I really want you to have a look later on. Every one of you, have a look. There are nice books. You can find, you can discover a lot of new things about Ukraine.
Thank you very much to our speaker, His Excellency Dr. Vasil Ivanovich Hamianin, as well as our moderator, Ms. Larasita. May the result of discussion will be useful for all of us. And for your information, don't forget to all of the students of Sriwijaya University to read the book in library of Sriwijaya University, Eat Freely. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the public lecture session, I am, as your master of ceremony and on behalf of the committee today, would like to say many thanks to all participants who had joined us and made a great meetings in this agenda. Give applause.
Semoga sukses dan sehat selalu.
Once again, thank you for your participation. I am Glenn Agnes Patricia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you on the next event.
Thank you.